Hey there, friends. I'm Key from Travel Made Personal, and I hope you all had a fantastic 4th of July weekend and stayed safe. Today I'm going to share 5 key landmarks that gives the southern town of Enterprise its unique charm and made it well worth our visit. See, Dusty and I were headed to the Depot Museum in Enterprise, Alabama as the second stop of day 2 on our first Alabama road trip. Have you been following along on this trip? Anyway, when we arrived at the Depot Museum, we found a note on the door that Val would return in 5 minutes. So it was closed, but only temporarily. To kill some time, we decided to walk around the depot to check out the little red schoolhouse that sits directly behind it. The charming one-room schoolhouse was built in 1906 and served as a learning space for rural children for decades. It was relocated to Johnny Henderson Park in Enterprise and now serves as a museum showcasing period desks, slates, books, and teaching methods from the early 20th century. Dusty and I love to visit places like this because they offer a glimpse into the education of yesteryear. The Little Red Schoolhouse is a family-friendly spot where history comes alive for both kids and adults, perfect for a short, enriching stop while in town. Unfortunately, it was closed when we were there as Val was working to restore it still, but we may stop back by next time we're in the area to see what she's done with the place. Next, we crossed the street to check out the haunted Rawls Hotel. It wasn't open yet when we were there, so we couldn't go inside, but it was cool checking out the outside of the building and entrance. Beautiful entryway. So it opened in 1903 and was once a luxurious stop for train travelers passing through Enterprise. It was built in a blend of colonial revival and Beaux Arts styles featuring grand staircases, detailed woodwork, and period furnishings. And of course, it's famously haunted, with stories of flickering lights, footsteps, and sightings of ghostly children and Civil War era figures. Whether you believe in ghosts or not, the Rawls Hotel is a must-see for history and architecture buffs. Its elegant dining room offers southern fare, and some rooms are still available for overnight guests brave enough to stay in a haunted room. Are you brave enough? Would you stay there? Let me know in the comments. Dusty and I would love to stay there at some point, and we might just do that on our next trip through that area. The Depot Museum across the street still had not opened by the time we got done exploring the Rawls Hotel, so we walked up to the Boll Weevil Monument to check it out. I loved that it is right in the middle of the intersection in the heart of downtown Enterprise. The story of the Boll Weevil Monument is a cool one. For starters, it is one of the only monuments in the world dedicated to an insect. It was unveiled in 1919 to celebrate resilience, innovation, and how disaster spurred growth in this region. In the early 1900s, the boll weevil devastated cotton crops, which forced local farmers to diversify into peanut farming. That shift to peanuts ultimately brought economic prosperity to the region. If not for the boll weevils, that prosperity likely would have went unrealized. So it makes sense for this small southern town to celebrate the insect that changed the course of this community forever. The monument is another quirky, symbolic stop that is unique to Enterprise, Alabama. It is yet another favorite photo opportunity and conversation starter for passers-by with a deeper message about turning failure into success. It is also listed on the National Register of Historic Places, so be sure to check it out as you travel through this area. The Depot Museum opened up as we were walking back from the Boll Weevil Monument. Val was super sweet to us and apologetic for the wait, though we didn't mind. We paid our $2 each, and she kindly gave us a tour of the museum, explaining that she's a volunteer and that the museum is run by volunteers who are doing their very best to catalog and organize all of the artifacts on display there. There were so many artifacts. It was such a cool place to explore. So the old Enterprise train depot helped transform the town into a commercial hub back in the early 1900s. While it's no longer an active station, it still stands representing the importance of the railway in connecting rural Alabama to larger markets. It's been preserved as a historic structure and sometimes hosts community events or season displays. Train lovers and history fans alike will appreciate this historic gem. It's also a great backdrop for photography and contributes to the nostalgic atmosphere of downtown Enterprise. Dusty and I usually spend less than an hour at each place we visit. We don't spend a lot of time reading signs and displays. We prefer to take pictures and read them later when we're back home because we like to jam-pack as many stops as we can into our trips. Get the most bang for our buck sort of thing and see everything we can while we're in each area. Interestingly, as we started walking through this museum, we both slowed down and took our time exploring each of the artifacts and listening to the details that Val was graciously sharing with us about what was on display. We didn't feel rushed, and we really enjoyed the nostalgia of everything in there. This was the very first depot museum we visited, and we expected it to be all about trains, which are cool, but it wasn't. It had a wide variety of historic artifacts, and I totally fell in love with the place. Really, I fell in love with the entire town of Enterprise as a historic crossroads with Southern charm. It was founded in the late 19th century and emerged as a regional center due to its location at the intersection of important trade routes. The town's development accelerated with the arrival of the railroad in 1898, transforming Enterprise into a hub for commerce, cotton, and later peanuts. Today, downtown Enterprise retains its quaint, small-town atmosphere with preserved architecture, independent shops, cafes, and friendly locals. Walking through downtown feels like stepping back in time, and I love that vibe. It's ideal for leisurely strolls, photography, shopping for antiques, or enjoying local eats and historic storefronts. The main square is home to the iconic Boll Weevil Monument, making it a central starting point for exploration. We visited Enterprise during all 3 of our Alabama road trips, and will likely visit and explore more of it with each trip passing through. If you happen to find yourself in the area, be sure to stop in and explore what Enterprise has to offer. If you're a history buff, check out the Pea River Historical Society, just a short stroll from the Boll Weevil Monument. And if you decide to check out the Depot Museum, tell Val we said hi. I could go on and on about this area of Alabama, but I'm going to stop here so as not to bore you or spoil your own visit. We left Enterprise and visited the Bethlehem Cemetery, which I did a video on previously. I'll link to that video in the description below if you want to go back to it. Dusty had some promises to fulfill there and in a few other cemeteries, so we spent a little time there before heading out again. After that, we drove through downtown Slocum and downtown Dothan, Alabama, just enjoying the old small town vibes in both places. So next week, I'll do a quick video to share what we saw in both places before moving along on our trip to day 3. Be sure and stay tuned for that. Also, be sure to like and subscribe so you'll get notified as those videos get released. But for now, get out there and explore the world your way.